Hi everyone, it's clinically polyamorous naturally black here. I am on the road and I wanted to do a quick video to touch on a common subject, which is the difference between unicorn hunting and organically forming a triad. One of the key things that I think can make people feel a bit frustrated is this idea of what organic is. And I'm going to define organic as letting relationships naturally reflect what they are and who's involved with them. So that means if you are making a relationship with the intention of hopefully one day having a triad, that doesn't make you a bad person. What that does mean is you have to put in the work to have individual relationships with all members of your polycule. I think triads and quads and all get so romanticized as the solution to every couple's problems, as the optimal way to perform polyamory. And one, that is not true for everyone. They are complicated. They are a problem when everybody feels differently than everybody else. So that's one of the key things that really comes in with unicorn hunting. Unicorn hunting is looking for someone to fill a role, not to build a relationship with a unique individual with their own needs and wants. So a unicorn is being brought in to completely follow the couple's rules with no input from them, no compromise is acceptable. There's a forced quality to pushing them to be into relationships with everyone instead of recognizing, hey, they might not have the same relationship with the husband as the wife. Alan may really like Barry, but Cliff Cliff and Barry are just friends. Trying to make that more won't work. Or maybe Barry and Cliff get along perfectly, but now Alan and Cliff aren't talking. What then? And the couple solutions just break up and end it and find someone else who perfectly fit. One, that isn't always sustainable. Two, how is that supposed to work when you're dealing with individual people? If you're choosing an open relationship, polyamory, ethical non monogamy, you have to remember that even if you're looking for a different dynamic, even if you have an ideal dynamic, you can't expect people to just fill roles. You can't just expect people, even in kitchen table poly, where everyone gets along, to automatically want to be together all of the time or even most of the time. Some folks like myself don't even want to be around our closest friends and partners all of the time. That's just how we are. So when you're looking at this idea of getting people to bring in and fit these narrow relationship dynamics, you really need to ask yourself, am I giving them a completely different expectation than I would a monogamous partner, than I would my own partner? Am I expecting them to accept whatever scraps we give while not being willing to sacrifice or offer anything? Are you trying to get this unicorn in as a nanny? Hell no. You need to get a nanny or an au pair. There's no guarantee, even if your third loves your kids, that they are going to be anywhere. Another, when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere your kids want to be, anywhere your kids want to be. Now, putting that aside too, why do so many of y'all think that a triad or a quad means a closed relationship? That's something that always shocks me. It's polyamory, baby, not monogamy. Just because you're in a triad doesn't mean that none of y'all date. And if you think it does, you need to clarify that. I know a triad that formed organically with the intention of becoming a triad because they felt that would work from the start. they still have individual date nights, individual relationships, individuals dynamics. They fit because of different things they bring together, but they aren't looking for people to fill roles. They aren't expecting people to automatically get along with their kids. Quite frankly, the assumption that we have to is wild. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You know, we are all human beings doing the best that we can, but part of doing better is recognizing we cannot force people to fit into these boxes. And we cannot, as polyamorous people, expect everybody to want a polyfidelitous triad. You know, if you're wanting to really keep this hierarchy, if that's what you're hunting for, someone to just fill whatever gaps and then have nothing of their own, you might be in the wrong relationship style and might not be in the right mindset. Now, I'm shooting off the top of my head here, but I will say this. A unicorn doesn't have to be a bad thing. But what often happens is couples become a feedback loop, telling each other it is reasonable to demand these things of another person. And they create an ideal without the reality because they bolster each other up. In learning about non-monogamy, it is important to remember that an organic triad is respecting the dyads within, the individual relationships, the individual people, and growing without the conceit that everything relies on everyone always intermingling the exact same way. If you're looking for a unicorn and that's the only thing you want, I would actually suggest sitting with why. And most importantly, what are you offering any other person? Time, romance, energy. Are you going to be there for them? Not just when it's convenient. Are you going to be there for them even if your partner and them break up? If you can't answer those questions, then you really owe it to yourself to stop and ask, why are you looking for that rare creature called a unicorn? What is your real motivation?